It's amazing the difference just the sun just breaking through a little bit can make on the scene. Okay, so I must admit I was all ready to head for home. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me again. If this is your first time on my channel and you like what you see, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you're a returning visitor and you're a subscriber, then thank you very much, I really appreciate that. So over the weekend we had amazing spring conditions, a real taste of the summer to come. We had wall-to-wall blue skies, temperatures in the more than the mid-20s. People were out sunbathing on the beach. But today that's all changed. We've got lots and lots of clouds. It's windy. The temperatures dropped down to, I think it's probably about 13 or 14 degrees, which I know isn't freezing cold, but it is compared to what it was yesterday. But we've got great conditions for some landscape photography or some seascape photography with some nice breaking waves. Those thick clouds are creating dramatic skies, the waves are breaking, and I've come out to a location. It's not a new one, I've been here before. It's I forgot the name of the beach. I'll put it up here in a second. So I came here hoping that this big rock that you can see here was going to be completely surrounded by water with the waves coming in. But it's not, it's too high up for that to happen. You have to have a lot rougher conditions than we've got today, but nevertheless I think there's a shot to be had here, and then after I'm satisfied that I've got the best from this location, I'm going to go on to another location that I've been meaning to visit for a while, and I think today might be a good day to do it. So here's the shot I've got set up. I've got the big rock filling up the bottom lower third of the frame. The edges of the beach, the sort of the pebbly bit and the sandy bit, kind of lead in from the left hand side of the frame and the sort of bottom right hand side of the frame. Ideally I would have tried to get the entire rock below the horizon, but I don't think I can. Instead there's just one tiny little bit that sticks up above, and I think that works. So I'm shooting 16mm on the 16 to 35 lens, f11, 1/40th of a second, and I'm focused on the rock because there's nothing in the background with any detail on. And with seascape shots like this, catching breaking waves, I'm just going to take, as I see the waves breaking, I'll fire off a few shots, then it'll be a case a bit later on when I get it back into Lightroom, deciding which one looks the best. Okay, got a little bit of brightness in the sky, so I've dropped in a 2-stop hard-edged ND grad just to hold that back. The highlights right at the top of the sky were blowing out, and because the sky is such a feature of this image, I want to make sure I capture all of the detail and texture in it. So I've been here now for, I don't know, probably about 20 minutes, just watching the waves breaking and occasionally firing off some shots. I know I've got 2 or 3 nice shots of waves breaking more in the foreground. What I'm not so sure about is whether any of the bigger ones breaking over the big rock are going to work. I'm going to hang on a bit longer Because as soon as I pack up and go away, you know there'll be a great big wave will come in. It's always the way. The sun's just broken through up there. And that's putting some light on the scene, which kind of changes the dynamic. It's amazing the difference just the sun just breaking through a little bit can make on the scene. Okay, so I'm finished at that beach. I'm pretty happy with the shots that I've got, I think. As always, I won't know till I get them home. I'm just heading back up to where I parked the car. But I just thought I'd stop and show you this down here. I'll give you a closer look in a second. These are processional caterpillars. They come out at this time of year. And if you're ever in Spain, and particularly if you've got dogs, keep them away from these things. They got poisonous hairs on them. If they get in the dog's nose or tongue, it can kill them. Really nasty things. I've never actually seen a chain of them like this before. Nasty. And they're not great for humans either, so better stay away from them. Hi guys, so it's unbelievable that it's only been about half an hour since I was shooting those dark dramatic skies at the other beach. I've just driven down to the other location I wanted to go to. It's one that I keep looking at, but I'm trying to be really careful because it's actually a nudist beach. And obviously they're not going to take too kindly to a guy wandering around with a camera or several cameras. I thought today, with it being cloudy and windy and unpleasant, there'd be nobody there. But maybe because this part has not been quite as dark and dramatic as where I was. It's only sort of 10 kilometres down the road. But in any case, there's people on the beach. I just sort of jumped out of the car, ran over, looked down the cliffside, and there's people down there. I can't tell whether they were nudists or not. I didn't look that closely. Obviously I can't take the camera there to show you what the scene's like because it wouldn't be appropriate. And to be honest, I don't think the location would have worked anyway, now that the clouds just seem to be burning off so quickly. So I actually think we may be done for the day. Okay, so I must admit I was all ready to head for home, and I drove past pretty much where I normally park up to come up on the coastal paths up on the cliffs here at Villajoyosa, and I just decided I'd pull over, walk a little way up the paths and just see if there was a shot. And I found something that I think might make for an interesting image, completely different to what I was doing earlier. 70-200 lens, 70-200 lens, 200mm, and I'm focusing right down on some rocks that are down at the bottom of the cliff. I'm going for a long exposure, so I've put in my 10-stop ND filter. If you watch my last video, you'll know that's the only ND filter I've got at the moment while I'm waiting for my replacement 6-stop to come. But that's okay, 10-stop is what I want. So looking at the exposure without the 10-stop filter, it was 1/30th of a second, f11 ISO 64, and calculating that on 11 stops, because I know that my 10-stop filter is a little bit more than 10 stops. So calculating on 11 stops gives me 1 minute and 8 seconds. So what I tend to do is I take whatever 11 stops is, and I just take about 10% off. So I'm going to shoot for about 61 seconds, and we'll just see how that comes out. Okay, so that's it. Completely blue skies now. Those dark dramatic clouds that were there earlier, I was really hoping we were going to hang on until around sunset, have all gone. But hopefully I've got a couple of images. One kind of dark and dramatic one with really nice clouds, and one kind of an intimate seascape shot, I guess. Two very different images. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, I'll just remind you again, don't forget about subscribing, and I'll just thank my subscribers again for your support. Likes and shares are always appreciated, and I'd love to hear from you. Comments, questions, suggestions, whatever you like, down below. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. So until the next video, thank you very much, and bye.